Welcome back to the Half a Day Show. I'm your host, Jay Half a Day, the flyest man on the internet, and this is the lunch break.
Is this camera on me?
I hope so.
This is the lunch break, and this is our politics episode. Where do I fucking begin? I haven't talked about this shit in 2 months, and so much has already developed. We're at war with Iran, unofficially, officially, and we got to take a break already because my camera's hot. 1 second. The CIA tried to sabotage me. The CIA is trying to sabotage me. The CIA just tried to sabotage me. Because why the hell did my camera just die? In the middle, not even the middle, at the start of us recording this damn series. Anyways, Robert Mueller, rest in peace. I wish you could have actually found something worth convicting this nigga over when it came to the Russia collusion shit. Because I still think that that's a real thing. I don't think that was a witch hunt. I think the way they went about it was a witch hunt. But I definitely think this nigga got some deep ties to Russia. He got deep ties to everybody, bro. This is what happened when you're a compromised president and people elect somebody that don't got no business being in that office. You get people that can be blackmailed. Literally, he is an intelligence risk. And that's why Israel and fucking Russia fucking is over right now. The nigga owe money to everybody. He did some fucked up shit. People got so much leverage over the president. We wouldn't have had this if y'all voted for Kamala. Let's move along, though. Let's talk more about that DHS gridlock, because Republicans are trying to leverage the funding crisis. They literally just shot down another one that Schumer brought to the floor to fund just TSA. They didn't even say the rest of BHS besides us. They wanted to put down funding just for TSA, and Republicans shot it down. 39 senators or whatever it was, or 39 people in the Congress. What, I don't know what the fuck. But they're trying to leverage this moment to pass the SAVE Act. And the SAVE Act is a load of malarkey. It's going to make voting in this country that much harder for everybody. Like, I don't even think voting should be this whole big a deal. Like, y'all really think that if I could break the law, I'ma just go and vote illegally? Like, if I'm here illegally in this country, I don't got no ID, no proof of citizenship. The last thing I'm worried about is voting. I'm gonna be thinking about some shit about how I can get a loan, a home loan, a car loan, all these other things. There's way easier things that you could defraud versus voting in an election. You think these people coming to America and caring about the fucking midterms? Them niggas don't know who the fuck Kat Abu Soleil is. I can't even say her name. I don't even know who she is. We'll talk about her in the next episode. But it's just kind of crazy that this is what Republicans hold their fucking hat on. They want to suppress votes because they can't win because they have unpopular policy. The Republican Party doesn't stand for anything right now in this country. They used to stand for financial or fiscal conservatism. They didn't want to spend too much. They didn't want to add too much to the deficit. And that's a reasonable position to hold within means. But right now, you guys are adding to the deficit. You're putting us into another war. So what the fuck are you guys conserving? You've changed literally everything from the last year and made it worse. You've changed everything from the last time he was in office and made it worse. There's nothing that this Republican Party does right now that is good. We're not going to dwell on why you guys voted so stupidly in the last election. We'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow will be my dwell day. But today we're going to go further into some more trending topics in politics because there's a lot going on and it's hard to keep track of everything. So let's switch gears a little bit because I feel like there's equal fuck shit everywhere, not just in the Republican Party. But Zohran Mamdani, who is the mayor of New York City, his wife is in some bit of hot water because of some old tweets that were circulated from the mid-2010s. I don't have the tweets, but maybe I'll get them before this episode comes out. But there are several tweets where she's using slurs towards the queer community, slurs towards the black community. She's making anti-Semitic remarks. She's reposting things and being an edgy Gen Zer, I think. Because I think she's my age. I think she's 28 or 29. And that era really was just that. A bunch of edgy teenagers and 20-somethings shitposting and doing things because they had no foresight on what the future might hold. Does that justify the conduct? Absolutely not. I don't think that slurs have an expiration date, but I feel like my standard for these type of things is different than most. I'm not one of those people that'll say, we need to cancel Zoran and his wife because of how she used to act 10 years ago. I think it just depends. But I do believe that we need to leave a little bit of room for growth when it comes to these things. Like if somebody says, yeah, I used to talk this way, but I learned that that was wrong and I don't talk that way no more. Isn't the point of restorative justice to get to a point where they're restored? So I think what she needs to do is she needs to make a statement. She needs to apologize and acknowledge the harm that these statements make. And I need her to demonstrate sort of the understanding that she knows that these things are bad. Now, it's another story because I think there's a sect of the internet that just doesn't care generally that she's used these slurs. And I think that that's bullshit. And I think the reason that that happens isn't because people don't care about those issues. I think it's because they align on the other 75% of their politic. Zohran Mamdani is as close to a perfect politician for the left. He says all the right things. He has the right rhetoric. He's a working class champion. He doesn't put identity politics forward. He says the right things. So I feel like a lot of the internet on the left ignores anything that he might do wrong because they don't want to jeopardize somebody that can actually advance their actual interests. And I think that's sort of hypocritical because the last election, you guys had a perfect opportunity to use a candidate that you didn't align with 100% that would actually advance your real interests at the national level, and you didn't do that. And I know why you didn't do that. But I think that's related to why you won't chastise his wife for saying the N-word, but you chastise the black woman who didn't have 100% of your politics. There's some shit that you guys have to unpack in that, but that's not the video for it. The big hitter of this episode clearly is Iran. Today we're going to do a little bit of historical analysis when it comes to the intelligence community, because I don't think this is the first time that we've been placed in a predicament like this because of our diplomatic relationships with other nations, namely Israel. But the way that it was carried out this time is something that I've never seen before. Now, for context, I have a background in intelligence. I'm not going to go too deep into what I do exactly or what I've done specifically, but I know a little bit about this shit. My degrees are in this shit. So I want to guide you guys through sort of the last time that we were misled like this. Following 9/11, we were preparing to invade several countries in the Middle East, namely Afghanistan, Iraq, and parts of Syria, Iran, what have you. This was the Gulf War 2.0 under Bush. Now, the justification for this war was obviously 9/11, but the sustaining of this war and the sustaining of the ground presence and the sustaining of our military might in billions of dollars spent per day in that region was because we thought Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. Sound familiar? Good, because it does. Now, 10 or 15 years later, they did a posthumous assessment of the analysis that was conducted leading up to the Iraq invasion. And it was discovered that there were never any weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And the intelligence community knew that at the time. But they produced what I'll call bad intelligence for the sake of policy. Bush needed a war. The Republican Party needed a war. America needed a war to sustain itself. So what did the IC do? They found evidence, they found intelligence, they found data points that support the policy. And usually that's not what goes on behind the scenes. It's usually the other way around. Policy reacts to intelligence. If you have bad intelligence, you have bad policy. If you have good intelligence, you have good policy. But when the policy makers bully the intelligence community into getting to a certain result, you get shit like the Iraq invasion. You get shit like the Iran invasion. But this time, contrary to the Iraq war in the mid-2000s, we have a foreign nation giving us bad intelligence. And I said this a few weeks ago in conversation with my colleagues, but Donald Trump got duped top down. And I don't think Joe Kent is going to be the first in this administration to jump ship. When you have the director of the National Counterterrorism Center stepping down and actively saying, hey, I am against this war, that is a big signal. I don't care if it's politics. That is somebody with the highest level of clearance. They know shit that none of us know about. And this person said, no, there was no imminent threat of Iran sending a nuke or an ICBM towards us. All of the intelligence community reports said that it would be up to 10 years before they had that capability, let alone the intent or the desire to do that. So for Donald Trump to wage this war based on intelligence that we got from Israel that said Iran is going to do this, who's right in this situation? Is it the policymaker or is it the intelligence community? Well, in this case, I think they're both wrong. The policymaker wanted this war, and the intelligence community wanted this war. Well, the intelligence partners, not us, but the partners, namely Israel, wanted this war. And that's why we're at war. And it's fucked up, truly, because we're seeing derivative effects across multiple sectors of the world. Energy, agriculture, transportation, technology. Everything is getting touched by this war. This unpopular war. I don't think there is a such thing as a popular war, but the fact that we're at war over something so trivial as bad intelligence, that says something. I think somebody went on record the other day doing an interview where they said that Biden had the same intelligence, and he said, no, I'm not going to fall for it. So again, I'm looking at the left and the right. You guys voted for this shit. Incompetent leaders lead to horrible effects down the road. If you guys would have voted for Kamala, I can say with certainty we would not be at war with Iran. Because she would have had people in her cabinet that are qualified to understand the fucking intelligence that says, hey, Iran has this capability. And there'll be people that can push back and say, no, Israel, no, they don't. But you fucking dumbasses abstained from voting. And you voted for this bullshit. And here we are, $4.30 gas. And another nation getting bombed to smithereens. I've long since had this position, but just seeing how everything has unraveled in the last 3 years, it no longer, I don't think it ever made sense personally to be this strong advocate for Israel. The Jewish people, this is not about you, but the nation of Israel, I think, is bringing more harm to the United States than good. Now, strategically, from a national security perspective, Israel has always been a good asset to have in the region. Geographically, it's centrally located. We can use its bases. We can pay them to be a defender, to deter things. They give us great intelligence sometimes, not in this case, but generally when Israel is a good actor, it makes sense to have them as an ally. But when they are destabilizing the region, when they are actively genociding a nation of people, when they are actively invading and intruding on the sovereignty of several neighboring countries in the region, it no longer makes sense for us to back them. They are destabilizing many countries, and the derivative genocide that will happen from this bombardment and the reckless sort of munitions that they're spending everywhere, Lebanon, Syria, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, like all these people, they're starting like mini conflicts with everybody. Like if you piss off everybody, how the fuck is that a good thing? You know what I'm saying? Like your whole thing is Israel has the right to defend itself. But if y'all are actively attacking, if y'all starting this shit, when does it stop being defense and when does it actually become offense? And now big bro, United States, gotta come and fight your fucking battles for you because you fucking with everybody else. Nah. If the United States was smart, they would cut that shit off and build partners with everybody else. Like, not to leave Israel out to dry, but like we need to really lean into the diplomacy of this shit. We need to stop funding the genocide. We need to stop giving them niggas munitions to be actively starting new wars. Cut it off. If they didn't have no munitions, they wouldn't start no new shit. They would have to rely on diplomacy. Like, I'm anti-war everywhere. Like, it never made sense for us to go in to another country, stay there for 20 years, destabilize it, and then wonder why fucking terrorists come from that country. If niggas came to my hood and broke all the shit, killed all the crops, starved all the people, gave us no jobs, and then flexed on me afterwards? Oh yeah, it's fuck him and his family for the rest of my life. You've made my life hell. Why the fuck would I be friendly with you? Like, I really don't like this whole doctrine of peace through strength. We need peace through peace. We need peace through diplomacy. We're going to stop right here, and I think I'll pick back up with my next 3 episodes throughout the week. Damn. I can't even do that because I was supposed to pack this shit up today. It's 4 o'clock. I think I could get 1 more episode in. I might do 3 here. I might do 1 more episode here. And then I'll save the other 2 for when I get to the new place. But yeah, this is the Half a Day Show. I appreciate y'all watching. And as always, education, entertainment, and everything in between. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace. Ooh, that's not getting fucking released. But anyway, I think that's enough entertainment for today. In the next episode, we'll talk a little bit about politics. Gotta break it up because there's so much fuck shit going on in the world right now. But appreciate y'all for listening to me. This is the Half a Day Show, bringing you education, entertainment, and everything in between. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.